The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. Thank you so much for joining Amtrak Vacations as we feature our nation's beautiful national parks. First and foremost, let me introduce myself to everybody. For those of you that are joining me again, and for those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name is Jim Marini, proudly the Director of Sales for Amtrak Vacations. And we have a real treat in store for all of you today. And again, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to join myself and Amtrak Vacations as we visit the national parks by rail. I want to encourage all of you too, as I go through today's presentation, any questions you may have, please feel free to type those away in the question box, and I'll do my very best to answer as many as I can at the end. Speaking of the end of today's presentation, I will be giving away a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card to one lucky person. So stay tuned to see if you are that winner. Also, I will be announcing some exclusive discounts for those of you who took time to attend on select itineraries. So stay tuned for that. I do want to encourage each and every one of you as well, if you have a pen and paper, please feel free to write down our 1-800 number to book any of these exciting rail vacations in the national parks. That number, everyone, right in the middle of the screen, 1-800-AMTRAK-2, otherwise 1-800-268-7252, or you can call your local travel agent to book any of these exciting packages. As I mentioned, again, any questions you have, please feel free to type those in the box, and you can certainly send those throughout the presentation. And again, I will do my very best to answer any of those at the end. So without further ado, we got a packed agenda here featuring the beautiful Grand Canyon, Glacier National Park, Yellowstone, and Yosemite. So before I dive into those exciting areas, just a little overview on Amtrak Vacations for those of you that certainly are joining us for the first time. Why Amtrak Vacations? Well, a few years ago, everyone, we took a survey of travelers and asked them really why. One of the top reasons, and hopefully it's similar for many of you here today joining us, is it is truly a bucket list experience to travel on Amtrak, to travel by train throughout the United States. Also, when you travel on board Amtrak, there is room to roam. In fact, we encourage each of you to get up, stretch your legs, walk around, go to the dining car, the snack car, the lounge area, okay? Enjoy the sights and sounds along your journey. That's part of the whole experience. Also, when you book any of these exciting vacations through Amtrak Vacations or your local travel agent, just know it is less hassle. Everything now is electronic, e-ticketing, e-documents, okay? So definitely keep that in mind. Also, city-to-city service. I always love giving the example, everyone, when you travel in and out of a station such as Penn Station, there really isn't a better location to start and or end your trip in the heart of New York City. The same applies to one of our beautiful national parks such as Glacier National Park, which I'll touch upon. So just know Amtrak truly tries to bring you into the heart of each of the major destinations and cities throughout the country. Satisfy your hunger. I'm going to talk more about this towards the end of the presentation, but I did want to mention to all of you, anytime you travel overnight on board the train, we highly encourage you to consider upgrading to either a roomette or a bedroom, which would be part of our sleeper category. And the reason why being is, whenever you are in a roomette or a bedroom, everyone, all of your meals are included during the overnight portion of your trip. So that's a big, big highlight. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, flexibility. Here, all of our vacation consultants, or certainly your local travel agent, can give you many different options. We have multiple departures all throughout the country at any of the Amtrak stations. And again, you have that flexibility. Speaking of flexibility, everyone, I always love showing this map. This is actually the Amtrak map system, so you can see just the vast amount of areas that the train travels to. Now, if you look at the map itself, and you'll hear me highlight it a little bit today, Chicago in particular is really kind of the hub, so to speak, of many of our overnight journeys that start and or end in this great city. However, Amtrak, there's over 500 destinations where you can start and or end your trip. So if you're wondering how you would get to and or from some of the great places such as Grand Canyon, Glacier National Park, Yellowstone, Yosemite, you have many different options, okay? Something interesting I want to share with everyone, last year alone, over 31 million people traveled on Amtrak in the United States, over 31 million people. And many of our travelers, like yourself, not only came from all over the United States, but all over Canada and all over the world, which is great. So lots of great options. Amtrak actually travels to 46 out of the 48 continuous states in the continental U.S., with the exception of South Dakota and Wyoming. However, as you can see, we do feature all the other great states in the United States and still include some of those states where the train does not travel to because, of course, some of our most beautiful national parks are located. I did want to mention, too, you also have the option, if you choose, to fly to and or from the starting or ending point. Certainly you can book your flights on your own if you choose, or your local travel agent can help you with those arrangements. In fact, many of our travelers typically may fly to the starting point and then fly home, or they may train to the first location of one of our rail vacations, and then at the end of your journey, fly home. Or you can go round trip completely by rail. In Amtrak Vacations, we truly are your one-stop shop and can take care of your train, your hotel, meals, sightseeing tours, and really make it a full package and give you that wonderful, unforgettable journey. Now, today I'm going to focus more on our independent journeys as well as our rail getaways, but I did want to put this picture up here today, certainly for those of you that are joining myself again, and for those of you who are joining us for the first time. In fact, today, everyone, it's really exciting. We have actually our largest attendance that we've had in our recent webinars, and we have over 1,000 people joining us throughout the day and evening to hear all about the great national parks. Now, as you can see here, we have many different types of products, otherwise vacations, rail vacations. We have escorted rail vacations. So for those of you on today's call who want a comfort of a tour guide with you from the time you start your journey until the time you end, if you want most meals included and you want a package that's a little more structured, I will be featuring one of our escorted rail journeys later in the presentation. As I mentioned, most of today's presentation will feature our independent journeys. And independent journeys, those are by far our most popular rail vacations. Daily departures, you have lots of flexibility. They're multi-city, anywhere from 6 to 7, 10, 12 days long. One thing I do want to mention as well, everyone, is any of these rail vacations that I highlight here today, any of these can be customized to start and or end wherever you would like. Any of these trips can be customized. Okay, you can design, in essence, your own rail vacation. Again, lots of flexibility. We have family adventures, so for those of you looking to travel with your children or grandchildren, I actually just took my wife and 3 children to Washington, D.C. in April for April school vacation, and the kids had a ball. Just a great, great vacation. We can arrange that all throughout the country so you can travel with your family. We have rail and sail vacations over to beautiful Alaska. We have some of our most popular rail getaways, which I will highlight here today, a few of them, and of course, our beautiful national parks, which is the focus and feature of today. In particular, here is 5 of the most beautiful national parks. I did want to make mention, we also have added in Crater Lake as well, National Park, so that's also another great destination that is available. We just released that not too long ago. So lots of great options to choose from. If you look at this picture here, everyone, I did want to mention the National Park Foundation. I thought this is kind of exciting to share with all of you. Amtrak Vacations actually formed a partnership with the National Park Foundation, which means anytime any of you book any of these exciting National Park Rail Vacations with Amtrak Vacations, a portion of the proceeds will actually go back to the National Park Foundation. And here's the best news, everyone. It's at no additional charge to you. It's exactly the same cost. We just use some of the profit to give back to the National Park Foundation. So anyway, you'd like to know that. So without further ado, everyone, welcome aboard. And let me go right into our first and certainly one of our most popular national parks packages. And this is our Grand Canyon Getaway round trip from Chicago. Now, the beginning of today's presentation, I'm actually going to feature our brand new round trip packages. And let me just mention, wherever you are located in the United States, everyone, we can customize your trip to go round trip from your local train station. In this case, it happens to be in Chicago, okay? As I mentioned, Chicago is where many of the overnight trains depart and or return to. So as you can see here, just one of our greatest packages, and this really is certainly one of our most popular. So how do you get to Chicago? Again, if you choose, you can take a train right from your local station out to Chicago, or you could fly round trip. Again, you get to decide how you want to travel. Now, the nice thing about the Grand Canyon, everyone, is it is a year-round national park. So if you want to go in January or February, certainly for those of us that are located in areas in the U.S., it can get a little bit cooler and snowy and cold. Why not escape that cold weather and head out to the beautiful sunny weather and see the beautiful Grand Canyon? Some of you may want to travel in the summertime with your family and children and grandchildren. Again, this is a year-round national park, and it's featured on the Southwest Chief, which is great. So once we travel down into the beautiful area of the Grand Canyon, we are located in the area otherwise known as Williams, which is located along scenic Route 66. As I mentioned, it is round trip from Chicago, but what's nice is we also have an opportunity on this trip to travel on the Grand Canyon Railway. In fact, the Grand Canyon Railway is actually the train that will bring all of you into the Grand Canyon. Now, typically we'll spend a couple nights at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel, so wanted to just kind of share with you some of the pictures that the hotel has provided to us. As you can see, just a great resort, a great hotel to stay at. And one thing about any of our getaway trips and any of our independent trips, as you'll see in today's presentation, you have lots of options as far as where you would like to stay. Now, the one thing I will highly recommend to everyone is, especially to any of these packages to the national parks, everyone, space does sell out fast. Many times we have calls and many of the hotels are already booked, especially for this year. As we know, this year is the centennial year. So if you are looking to go this year last minute, give us a call, contact your local travel agent right away, as space is extremely limited. However, for those of you thinking about any of these national parks for next year, this is the best time to book any of your exciting vacations, and it also gives you the best price available. By the way, this particular package, our starting rate is a little over $1,000, including round-trip train from Chicago. It's a great value, everyone. Now, over at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel, we also have the Grand Depot Cafe, so you'll have the opportunity to have a great breakfast in the morning before boarding on, as I mentioned, the Grand Canyon Railway. Now, the Grand Canyon Railway, typically it departs in the morning. Okay, it's a daily departure. And this is actually our form of transportation, as I mentioned, that will take each and every one of you from Williams out to the Grand Canyon. Now, it's only a little over an hour train ride, about an hour and a half, and it's certainly a great journey. And along your journey out to the Grand Canyon, you never know what's going to happen along the way. So stay tuned, as it is very often you'll see a Wild West shootout. But before you know it, you arrive in the beautiful Grand Canyon. Many believe it's actually considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. Now, the Grand Canyon, everyone, located in the beautiful state of Arizona, they estimate over 5 million people visit the Grand Canyon every single year. Now, when we do arrive in the Grand Canyon, we actually will be treated to a motor coach rim tour, which does include lunch. And this is such a fabulous sight. There's also so much to do here, everyone. Now, we do have some adventurous options, so some of you may want to go on a helicopter tour if you choose. Others of you might just want to walk around, soak up the sightseeing, maybe do a hiking tour if you choose. Either way, you will have a motor coach rim tour, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, that will take you throughout the beautiful Grand Canyon, and it does provide lunch as well. Now, to go into many of the great lodges that you have the option to stay at, everyone, here is just a few examples of the lodges that Amtrak Vacations has for all of our travelers. And again, this year space is very limited, so if you are interested, definitely give us a call. But even if you're looking for next year, everyone, call us, call your local travel agent to make sure you get your reservations. Space in the lodges sells out every single year, okay? Now, what makes it unique, everyone, is we stay inside of the parks. Our feeling is if you're going to go to the Grand Canyon, if you're going to go to Glacier National Park or Yellowstone or Yosemite, you want to be in the heart of the national parks. So here's 3 great options that you can choose from, everyone, inside of the Grand Canyon. So Maswik Lodge, located right on the grounds of the Grand Canyon. We also have Thunderbird Lodge, another great hotel to choose from, as well as El Tovar. And any of our vacation consultants or certainly a local travel agent can let you know which hotels are available when you're looking to travel. As I mentioned at the beginning, again, Grand Canyon is a year-round national park, which is awesome. And then before you know it, everyone, after enjoying all the beautiful sights that Grand Canyon has to offer, it's then back on the Southwest Chief over into Chicago. So this particular package, everyone, again, it's 6 days, 5 nights, round trip from Chicago. Again, if any of you want to go round trip to the Grand Canyon from your own local train station, we can customize any of the trips, or certainly a local travel agent as well. What I will share with everyone is as I go through these great rail vacations to the national parks, many of these vacations, everyone, were actually designed from all of our travelers like yourself. So these trips were created from all the feedback from our travelers. So chances are whatever trip you're thinking about, we already have a package created. And when you book into any of our packages, everyone, that gives you the best prices and the best discounts available. So keep that in mind. Speaking of packages, speaking of another great round trip package from Chicago, here is our Glacier National Park getaway. So just like the Grand Canyon, it is round trip from Chicago. So again, you get to decide if you would prefer to fly on your own or have your local travel agent book your flight round trip to Chicago. You have that option, okay? Or certainly you can train right from your local train station to Chicago, where then it's time to board the Empire Builder. Empire Builder is listed as one of the top 3 most scenic train rides in the United States. This is certainly one package that sells out every single year, and I'm going to tell you one big difference of Glacier National Park, everyone, compared to the Grand Canyon. Glacier National Park is seasonal, which means it only operates from May through September. So if any of you are thinking about this exciting national park, you definitely want to already start thinking for 2017, because this has pretty much sold out of all departures for this year, again, because it is seasonal, only goes May through September. As I mentioned, it is on the beautiful Empire Builder, and as we travel from the beginning of the presentation, we talked about locations and how Amtrak can truly bring you into the heart of many of these great destinations and cities. This is one of those examples, everyone. There truly is not a better way to get in and out of Glacier National Park than on Amtrak. And as I mentioned, we here at Amtrak Vacations, we not only can take care of your rail, but also your hotels, meals, sightseeing tours. We can make it as long or as short as you would like. This package itself, again, is one of our getaways. So when you do arrive in the beautiful Glacier National Park, you arrive in the beautiful state of Montana. Glacier National Park actually became a park back in 1910, and believe it or not, they estimate there's about 762 lakes in Glacier National Park. Now, what you're looking at here is, in essence, a red, I call it a red jitney bus tour, but it's a great way to get in and around the park. And we do offer some great tours as well. So if it's going on a scenic tour in the Medicine Valley on a boat cruise, or having a breathtaking ride along the Going to the Sun Road highway, it is certainly spectacular. And they estimate over 1 million people visit Glacier National Park every year. In fact, there's actually over 1 million acres of land as well. So absolutely amazing. And certainly no different from Grand Canyon, you also have some great options as far as some of the lodges to stay at in the parks. Again, everyone, I can't say enough at how exciting this is for me to share this with all of you, and that is we can get space most of the time inside of the lodges in the parks, certainly now for next year. So give us a call, contact your local travel agent to learn more about these great packages. But take a look, everyone. Now, these lodges, one thing to keep in mind is they are a little more rustic, right? So what do I mean by that? They're not 5-star hotels, 5-star being the best, like a Ritz-Carlton. These are more rustic. They're lodges located in the parks. And what I say by that is a lot of woodwork, as you could see, kind of gives you that feel of being in the national parks. And that's truly the experience that our travelers love so much. This is one package along with really all of our national parks many of our travelers just rave about. Now, another great option to choose from is a hotel known as Mini Glacier Hotel, okay? But look at that scenery, everyone. Look where you're located, right? Absolutely amazing. Again, this trip only departs May through September. Otherwise, any of our rail vacations in Glacier National Park only depart May through September. Here's another picture just to kind of give you a little overview on some of the different views at some of the Glacier National Park lodges, as you can see. But there's so much to see and do here. So I talked a little bit earlier about taking a boat cruise, which is along the scenic to Medicine Valley. Now, again, this is seasonal because, again, it only operates May through September. But you can certainly have lots of activities to take advantage of. And in any of these packages, as you can see, we always include a good core of some of the most important items to take advantage of while you're on any of these great trips. But you can always build onto these rail vacations as well. So if you want to add an additional sightseeing tour, if you want to add an additional breakfast or dinner, you have that flexibility. I talked about lakes, 762 in Glacier National Park. One interesting little trivia is only 131 of them actually have names associated with them. The largest lake in all of Glacier National Park is Lake McDonald, and they estimate it's about 9 miles long. But believe it or not, 631 lakes, everyone, do not have names. But if you could picture yourself in this beautiful scenery, smelling the beautiful fresh air, as I prepare my presentations and I look at all the beautiful pictures, it just brings back memories of just standing there and soaking up all the great fresh air that many of these national parks have to offer. And not to mention the amazing scenery that you get traveling on board the train throughout your journey. This trip itself, everybody, 6 days, 5 nights, also round trip from Chicago. Okay, so keep this in mind. As you can see, we do include a dinner at Glacier Park Lodge as well, the Big Sky Circle tour, and of course round trip transportation on the Empire Builder. Now, one of the last packages I want to highlight, which is brand new, everyone, take a look at this one. This one I was very excited to share with all of you. This has never been announced as of yet. You are the first ones to hear it, our first travelers, and that is our Grand National Parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon, everyone. This is a trip of a lifetime, okay? We are already getting bookings nonstop for next year, because this is a package you want to definitely plan for and save for. In fact, anytime you book any of these exciting packages through any of our vacation consultants or your local travel agent, we offer a payment plan as well if you choose to pay a little bit every month. So again, we can help you to make these dreams come true. As you can see, again, round trip from Chicago, featuring the beautiful city of Salt Lake City. We travel north to Yellowstone National Park. Now, when we travel to Yellowstone National Park, everyone, that is on a motor coach bus, okay? The Amtrak train does not physically go into Yellowstone National Park, but our feeling is you're so close, we got to make sure we include it. So that's on a motor coach transfer. It's a great journey throughout the day where we'll have stops along the way. So really more of a sightseeing journey, bringing you to and or from Yellowstone National Park. From there, we then have another overnight on the California Zephyr, which I actually just had the pleasure of traveling on recently for our overnight to San Francisco. Now, it actually arrives in a town called Emeryville, which is located right outside San Francisco. But then from there, we provide transfers and bring you right into the great city. From there, we include Yellowstone National Park, Los Angeles, before having an overnight journey out to the Grand Canyon, and then, of course, another overnight journey back on the Southwest Chief to Chicago. This trip itself, as I mentioned, leaves from Chicago. So again, you get to decide if you want to fly round trip to Chicago on your own, or your local travel agent can help you with those arrangements, or you can train right from your local Amtrak station to Chicago, where then you can begin your journey. The first major city we visit is, of course, Salt Lake City. Just such a great area before traveling north on a motor coach bus into the great Yellowstone National Park. Now, we do include a sightseeing tour of Yellowstone's lower loop, so keep that in mind. That's a great highlight. Of course, when you're there, Old Faithful, here we are, just by far one of the most popular, iconic sites in Yellowstone. It is absolutely amazing. It was actually named Old Faithful back in the 1800s. Geysers are erupting all the time, so it's pretty amazing. There's over 300 active geysers throughout Yellowstone National Park. And then from Yellowstone, as I mentioned, we journey on our overnight train on the California Zephyr out to Emeryville, which then will be transferred into the great city of San Francisco. San Francisco, for me, one of my favorite cities in the United States, one of the most expensive real estate districts in all of the United States. San Francisco, to me, is very special. It's actually where I went for my honeymoon and had just an amazing time. And I always share the story when I was in San Francisco. We'll actually spend 2 nights in this great city on this particular rail vacation. They have great seafood. Of course, you got Pier 39. There's so much to see and do. One of the restaurants I went to, everything on the menu was made of garlic, believe it or not, and including the ice cream. Although I did not get it, it was a great experience. So lots to see and do in San Francisco. But of course, the real highlight of this package and this presentation is the beautiful national park. So here is Yosemite. Yosemite National Park, we will include a sightseeing tour, and it is round trip from San Francisco. Just absolutely beautiful. So we'll have an opportunity to spend time here. Actually became a park back in 1890. So been around quite a long time, and located near the Sierra Nevada range in the eastern part of California. Now, what you're looking at here is El Capitan. It's the largest granite block in the world. Absolutely amazing. So again, you'll learn and see all the great sights that Yosemite has to offer before traveling south on the Coast Starlight to Los Angeles. And when we arrive in Los Angeles, we'll spend some time before journeying out to the beautiful Grand Canyon. So this package, everyone, not only includes the Grand Canyon, it includes Yellowstone and Yosemite, 3 amazing national parks in one package. So definitely keep this in mind. This particular trip itself, everybody, 14 days. Again, round trip from Chicago, featuring Salt Lake City, Yellowstone, San Francisco, Yosemite, and of course the Grand Canyon. Now, a couple other round-trip packages from Chicago. Certainly for those of you who want that true rail and national parks experience, you may want to consider one of these other two packages as well. Okay, so here is our Grand National Parks on the left-hand side, which includes Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. Or you may want to choose the one on the right, which is our Grand National Parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. So as you can see, we do a few different variations. So depending on how many days you're looking to travel and those particular national parks you personally want to see, you have plenty of options. As I mentioned, everyone, these packages were actually designed from all of our travelers like yourselves. Okay, so chances are whatever national park or parks that you're wanting to travel to, chances are we already have a package that goes there. Now, those packages I highlight were some of our newest and best and most popular rail vacations. Again, all round trip from Chicago, which again, you get to decide if you want to fly round trip to the city to start your journey, or if you want to train from your local station to Chicago, you get to decide. But I did want to highlight a few others, okay, before I talk about the different seating and sleeping accommodations on board Amtrak. Speaking of round trip, here's another package called Rails to the Grand Canyon. This is one of our most popular packages as well, but instead of being round trip from Chicago, everyone, this is round trip from Los Angeles. So for those of you who may want to travel out to the California coast and would like to see the Grand Canyon while you're out there, here's a package to consider. So this particular one is just a nice 5-day, 4-night getaway, again, round trip from Los Angeles. So keep this one in mind. This also is on the Southwest Chief, and we do include a journey on the Grand Canyon Way to bring you to and from the beautiful Grand Canyon. Now, for those of you who want to travel in one direction, here's our Grand Canyon Discovery. That starts in Chicago, where we spend 2 nights. And I did want to mention, too, real quick, everyone, on any of these rail vacations, wherever we overnight, any of the cities or destinations where we have overnights in hotels, because there are independent and rail getaways, you get to decide and choose what hotels you would like to stay at. So as an example, in Chicago, we use all different types of hotels, from Holiday Inn to Sheraton to Westin. Again, depending on what your budget is and how long or short you want to travel, again, we can help you pick and choose the best package for yourselves. As you can see, we travel overnight on the Southwest Chief before arriving in Santa Fe for 2 nights. Now, one thing to keep in mind again, and I mentioned it at the beginning of today's presentation, that is considering to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom on any of these rail vacations to the national parks. So all of our rail vacations that are independent and also our getaways, pricing is always based in coach seating, which is the main seating on board the train. So from Chicago to Santa Fe, the pricing on this package is based in coach seating. However, you have the option to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom, which I can't highlight and encourage you enough to consider, not only because it will give you an overall much better experience because you'll have all your meals included from Chicago to Santa Fe, but you'll also have your own private accommodations as well on board the train. Our passengers absolutely love when they overnight on board the train. So we highly encourage it, also because space does sell out very fast. Okay, I can't tell you how many times we get calls, people looking to travel last minute, and many times the roomettes and bedrooms are already booked. So again, certainly for any of you thinking of any of these exciting national parks next year, this is the best time to call us or your local travel agent. So again, here's a great package, again, featuring the beautiful Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, too, just a little fun trivia, became a national park back in 1919, and actually was the 17th national park established in the United States. And just some fun little trivia on the Grand Canyon, everyone. They estimate it's up to 277 miles long, 18 miles wide, 4 miles across, and 6,000 feet deep. Unbelievable. Okay, so again, you're going to hear all about this. And believe it or not, the rock at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, they estimate It's about 2 billion years old. So lots of interesting tidbits. Now, some of you may want to go out to Glacier and experience just Glacier. Departing from Chicago, here's another great itinerary to consider. 2 nights Chicago. Again, you get to choose what hotel you'd like to stay at. Then we overnight on board the Empire Builder out to Glacier National Park, where we spent a few nights before having another overnight on the Empire Builder out to Seattle for the remainder of your vacation. Now, some of you may even want to consider to extend your trip at the end and maybe go on an Alaska cruise. Some of you may even want to go up into Canada, into Vancouver, and do the Canadian Rockies. Amtrak Vacations, we can do it all for you, and also your local travel agent, from rail to hotel, meals to sightseeing. This trip itself, everyone, also one of our most popular, to the Glacier National Park, 10 days, 9 nights. And as you can see on each of these pictures, we list what's included. So in this case, a sightseeing architecture cruise of Chicago Harbor. We have a Glacier Park to Medicine Valley boat cruise, to Glacier National Park on Big Sky Circle Tour, admission to Seattle Space Needle and Chihuly Garden and Glass Museum, as well as a multi-day hop-on, hop-off tour included in Seattle. And I do have to say, everyone, whenever you see a hop-on, hop-off tour included in any of our cities that we travel to, which is typically most of the time we will include this, just know it is such a great advantage. As I mentioned earlier, my family and I went to Washington, D.C. during April school vacation, and we traveled round trip, everyone, right from Boston. And one of the best highlights for my family and I was actually being on a hop-on, hop-off tour, because we didn't have to rent a cab, we didn't have to get an Uber, right? We didn't have to walk too far. It picked us up and dropped us off in all the major areas throughout the city. So anytime you see a hop-on, hop-off tour being included, that is a great highlight. Another great national park to consider, also departing from Chicago, except ending in San Francisco, this is our Yellowstone Yosemite by rail. This one, as I mentioned, I did have the pleasure of traveling on recently on the California Zephyr. Again, just a reminder, pricing is always based in coach seating, which is the maiden seating on board the train, but you can upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom on the overnight journey. And I do have to mention, everyone, I think this is really exciting to share with all of you. Many times to upgrade to a roomette from a coach seat, many times is as minimal as only $100 to $200 extra per person. But that not only gives you all your meals included at no additional charge from Chicago to Salt Lake City, but it also gives you your own private accommodations. And I'm going to touch on that in just a little bit so you can hear more about those exciting options. This trip itself, everyone, 11 days, 10 nights, again, starting in Chicago and ending in beautiful San Francisco. So keep this package in mind. And then the last national parks that I'm going to highlight before we talk about the seating and sleeping accommodations on board Amtrak is our Northern National Parks Escorted. Now notice, everyone, how I put the word escorted in capital letters, okay? I put it in capital letters because it's different from all the other national parks packages that I highlighted. And the reason why being is on this package, for those of you that are on today's call who want a package to the national parks that you don't have to worry about where to go, what to do, you want to have the comfort of a tour guide, an Amtrak Vacations tour guide with you from the time you start in Seattle until the time you end in Salt Lake City. You want most meals included, and you also want the comfort of knowing you're already booked into a roomette. Then that is our escorted packages, okay? So from Seattle to Salt Lake City, you would have a tour guide, whereas on the independent, it's more independent, multi-city, a little more flexibility on your own, okay? You also would have most meals included, most breakfasts and some dinners, and you're automatically booked into a roomette from Seattle to Glacier, whereas independent roomettes are offered, but they're at an additional price. Roomette, I will mention, everyone, is by far our most popular category of any of our sleepers. This trip itself, everyone, 10 days, 9 nights. What makes this unique as well is it's not completely by train. It's on the Empire Builder from Seattle to Glacier National Park. And then from there, everyone, we board on a motor coach bus and we travel down to Yellowstone National Park, Jackson Hole, before ending in Salt Lake City. So it's a combination of rail and motor coach. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And typically, because it's an escorted package, these are a little more structured. Okay, so typically, if you want to come earlier or later, you have that option, but they're a little more structured from the start of the tour until the end. And also, typically, we have groups of about 30 people, okay, on an average on each of our departures. Escorted typically will have departures typically once to twice a week, whereas independent, we have daily departures, okay? So with that in mind, everyone, let's move into the seating and sleeping accommodations. Again, stay tuned because I will be giving away a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card at the end to one lucky person. But before I do, everyone, take a look at the coach accommodations, okay? This is our main seating on board Amtrak. But take a look for a minute, everyone. Look at the amount of leg room that you have. You know, I always love showing this picture because, as many of us know, when we travel by airplane, when we fly, to get this type of leg room, everyone, as we all know, you would have to pay a premium, right? You'd have to upgrade to business or first class. This is the main seating on board Amtrak. So even during any of your journeys during the day where you do not travel overnight, just rest assured you are traveling in a very comfortable setting. Wireless is available throughout most of the major cities in the U.S., okay? Lots of space above the overhead. However, when any of you do travel overnight on board Amtrak, everyone, we highly recommend to consider upgrading to a roomette or a bedroom. Now, as I mentioned, roomettes are by far our most popular category of any of our sleepers. As you can see here, it typically fits 2 people. What you're actually looking at is the seats face each other, but in the evening they fold down. That becomes the lower bed, and above the window, which you can't see here, is actually the bunk bed, which folds down. Okay, so it is bunk bed style. There is a door to close at night to lock if you choose. Also, anyone that's in a sleeper, either a roomette or a bedroom, you also have your own private attendant, okay? And typically that person is dedicated to the train car with other people like yourself who are in roomettes or bedrooms. On an average, there's about 10 roomettes and about 4 to 5 bedrooms per train car, okay? You also get first choice as to when you would like to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So whatever meals are offered during your overnight journey, you will get first choice as to when you would like to eat. And as I mentioned, one last reminder, many times to upgrade to a roomette from a coach seat, which is the main seating, many times, everyone, it is as minimal as only $100 to $200 extra per person. It is a great value. However, for those of you who definitely want your own bathroom and shower inside of your room, then you would want to consider a bedroom. Roomettes, as I mentioned, are by far our most popular, but we have what we call a private yet shared bathroom and shower, which means in the first level of the sleeper car, there's typically 2 to 3 bathrooms and 2 to 3 showers that is available for anyone that's in roomettes to use, okay? But if you want your own bathroom and your own shower inside of your room, then you'd want to consider to upgrade to a bedroom. And a bedroom typically can fit 2 adults and 1 child. They are a little bit bigger than a roomette. What I will say, though, whether it's a roomette or a bedroom, space does sell out. Many times I hear calls in Amtrak, the train is already booked for days upon days. So if you're interested in either a roomette or a bedroom, again, give us a call. By the way, our 1-800 number is listed in the bottom right-hand corner of every picture, or certainly, as I mentioned, you can contact your local travel agent. Whatever you choose, though, however, everyone, rest assured you'll be in very comfortable accommodations, and also you'll be noticing you'll get some great scenery along the way on the overnight journeys as well, because in our observation car, this is open access to anybody. So regardless if you're in coach, roomette, or bedroom, this is available, and you can go there and sit there throughout the day as there's seats available, and it's at no additional charge. So we highly recommend that. Again, traveling on board the train is part of the overall vacation to and or from the national parks. Now, I talked about meals being included when you're in a roomette or a bedroom. Obviously, meals are available for everyone on the train. If you're in coach seating, it is at an additional price. Again, if you're in a roomette or a bedroom, it's all included. Okay, we don't charge you extra. It's all included within the price. I do have to say, everyone, for those of you that have had the opportunity to travel on Amtrak Vacations or certainly looking to book any of these exciting national parks, definitely be excited to know that the meals, they're fresh, made to order. In fact, on any of the overnight journeys, everyone, there is a private chef on board. So when I was on my trip recently, as I mentioned, on the California Zephyr, traveling overnight, breakfast consisted of omelets, eggs, waffles, pancakes, croissants, coffee, tea, orange juice, right? Lots of great options. Lunchtime, cheeseburgers, turkey clubs, chicken paninis. In the evening, steak, fish, pasta, right? If anyone has any special dietary requests, just let any of our vacation consultants or your local travel agent know, and we can put that request in to Amtrak as well. So how can you view any of these exciting packages, or certainly any others that travel to the national parks, everyone? Feel free to go on our website, and it's AmtrakVacations.com, all one word, AmtrakVacations.com. And again, we can do everything from your rail, hotel, meal, sightseeing tour. Make the packages as long or as short as you would like. Again, you can design your own rail vacation to the national parks if you choose to start and or end wherever you would like. And as I mentioned, chances are whatever you're thinking of, we may already have a package available. And speaking of packages, how to book any of these exciting rail vacations to the national parks. If you have a pen and paper, everyone, please feel free to write this down. Again, our number is 1-800-AMTRAK2, otherwise 1-800-268-7252. As I mentioned, you can visit our website or certainly call your local travel agent as well, who can help you with any of these arrangements. I did want to mention we also offer, I feel, one of the best travel protection options in the travel industry. And when you book any of these exciting rail vacations to the national parks, if you purchase our travel protection option, which many times, just so you know, everyone, is as minimal as $40 to $50 per person, okay? This allows you to cancel for any reason right up until 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, business day prior, and you will get a full refund back minus the cost of the trip protection. Now, the other nice thing when you travel with Amtrak Vacations is we also allow additional discounts on the rail portion of your vacation, okay? So these discounts apply on the rail portion, but for anyone that's over 62, you get a 15% discount. If you're a veteran, first off, thank you for your service. You also get a 15% discount. Discounts are not combinable. However, what we do is we give you the largest discount. So as an example, if you're a AAA member and you're over 62 years old, we will give you the senior discount because that's at a 15% discount, whereas AAA would be at a 10%, okay? Also, military, thank you for your service. You get a 10% discount. I mentioned my family and I traveled recently. Children ages 2 to 12 receive 50% off on the rail portion of their vacation, everyone. It's such a great, affordable way to travel. So definitely keep these discounts in mind. And the two big things I want you to keep in mind, and if you have a pen and paper, everyone, please feel free to write this down. This is something that has been so exciting for us as a company, and that is the discounts that we've been able to offer for each and every one of you and previous travelers that have attended any of our exciting webinars, and that is additional discounts above and beyond what we are offering to anyone else, okay, just because you took the time to attend. So on select independent rail vacations, and again, give us a call, contact your local travel agent. They can let you know which discounts apply, okay, to which independent rail vacations. I can tell you most of the itineraries I highlighted here today all have a discount that will apply to them. We're offering $300 off per couple, otherwise $150 off per person, as long as you book with a small deposit, okay, before the end of this month, September 28th. Again, all that's due is just a small deposit. Typically, deposits range anywhere from only $100 to $250. That's all it is, $100 to $250, as long as you book before the end of this month, September 28th, to travel anytime this year or in 2017 on select independent rail vacations that apply. You will get $300 off per couple, which is an additional savings above and beyond what we're offering right now to anyone else if they were to call who did not attend a webinar. So this is a great advantage. Now, for those of you that were interested in our escorted package, otherwise known as our Northern National Parks, that discount is even more above and beyond, okay? That one is $500 off per couple, otherwise $250 per person. And again, that escorted rail vacation, for those of you who are on the call who want a vacation to the national parks a little more structured, you want the comfort of a tour guide with you from Seattle to Salt Lake City, you want most meals included, and you're already in a roomette, and you want a little more of a group kind of feeling on the trip, then you may want to consider our Northern National Parks. We also have a Glacier National Park escorted package available. Those we are offering $500 off per couple, but again, those need to be booked before the end of September. Specific date, September 28th, with a small deposit to travel anytime in 2017. And there are promo codes, so I did want to mention that as well. So I'm going to go back on the slide just real quick from the previous slide. So anyone interested in our independent rail vacation, that promo code down at the bottom in yellow is webinar SEP, S-E-P, short for September. So webinar SEP, okay? That is the promo code for any of you interested in all the independent rail vacations that I highlighted here today. And anyone interested in our Northern National Parks escorted or our Glacier National Park escorted, which you can find online, that promo code is webinar SEP, S-E-P-E-S-C. Again, webinar S-E-P-E-S-C. So just a reminder, everyone, don't forget to download your handout here. So on your screen on the right-hand side, we actually have a handout of all the different tours and some additional ones that I highlighted here today. So feel free to download that. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to type those away. I see that we did get quite a lot of questions as I was going through today's presentation. So I want to sincerely thank you all for those questions. And I see we have a lot of great questions. And as I'm going through these questions, everyone, I want to encourage each and every one of you, if you have additional questions, to please feel free to type those away, and I will do my very best to answer those before the end of today's presentation. So with that in mind, let me just first and foremost announce today's winner of our $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card. I'll tell you, everyone, this is, for me personally, one of the most exciting things. Whatever I do these webinars is just to give out these exciting gift cards, but also to say thank you to each and every one of you. So today's winner is Lynn Sherblum. Lynn Sherblum, congratulations. You are today's winner of our $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card. But don't be surprised, everyone, because I do have one other piece of good news before I open it up to all these great questions that we have here today. So today, actually, I'm doing something a little bit different, and that is I'm actually giving away 2 gift cards. The second one is actually for $50, okay? The second one is for $50, and it's going to go to one lucky person, and that winner is Elizabeth Vance. Elizabeth Vance, congratulations. You are today's winner of our $50 Amtrak Vacations gift card. So I wanted to surprise everyone with not 1 but 2 exciting gift cards, just as a way of saying thank you. So with that in mind, everyone, we have a lot of questions, okay? So I'm going to do my very best to answer all of these. I encourage any of you, if you have a little time, feel free to stay on the call. Otherwise, if you need to hop off, I want to thank you very much for your time. Again, give us a call. That number is listed right there in the middle of the screen, or certainly contact your local travel agent who can help you book any of these exciting rail vacations. But if you have a little time, I want to go through these questions and hopefully do my very best to answer as many as I can. So again, want to thank you all. So first question from Don: how much again is deposit? So Don, deposit, again, on any of these rail vacations range as minimal as $100 to $250 per person. So again, it is very minimal, and that will secure your space, which is great. So I want to mention that. Next question from Lori. Are there any dining options for people with food allergies? Great question, Lori. There is, as a matter of fact, there is. So if you do have any food allergies, just let any of our vacation consultants know, or certainly your local travel agent, and we can try to make those arrangements for you, okay? Next question from T. Hopkins. With the Grand Canyon Getaway, do you have time on your own to explore all, or are all guided? Great question. Yes, you do. You definitely have time to explore on your own the Grand Canyon, and there is a guided. So you actually have a little bit of both, which is kind of nice. And that's typically how we try to build any of our itineraries and rail vacations around the United States. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay. Next question from Mary. Can we combine the national parks with the Canadian Rockies? Great question. Again, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but any of these packages can also, again, be not only customized to start and or end where you want, but also, for instance, if you wanted to do the Glacier National Park and then travel from Seattle north to Vancouver and then go on the train out to the Canadian Rockies, again, Amtrak Vacations, we can book everything in one package for you. And since you mentioned Canada, Amtrak actually does travel north up into Montreal and Toronto, as well as Vancouver. So lots of flexibility, okay? But thank you very much. Good question as well. Okay, let's see. So we have Atis Wagner. I am booked for your Yosemite vacation. Train dining is 5-star, except for a few trains which are like Joe's Diner. Why and how can I find out? Great question, Atis. Feel free to give any of our vacation consultants a call, or certainly your local travel agent, and they can help you with that as well, okay? Elizabeth, let's see. The Grand National Park with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Grand Canyon. Is this customizable as well? Yes. Again, any of these packages can be customizable. What I will mention is whenever any of you book into any of our existing packages, those are typically going to get you the best prices and the best value for those destinations. However, again, if you need to start and or end in another location, or you want to change the routing a little bit, any of these can be customized, so no worries at all. Diane, is this trip for someone in a wheelchair? So great question, Diane. Any of our vacation consultants can let you know more about which vacations will be a little easier and suitable to any of our travelers in wheelchairs. I do know, obviously, some of the national parks are going out into a little more of the rural areas of the United States. So again, we want to make sure it's the right trip for you. So any of our vacation consultants, or certainly our local travel agents, can certainly let you know which national parks would be better suited for you. Okay, so thank you. Great question. Next question from Ed. Let's see. Are the motor coach buses owned and operated by Amtrak or subcontracted, such as Greyhound? Great question, Ed. Obviously, on many of the different packages and train routes throughout the United States, Amtrak does have throughway service, which are owned and operated by them. Then, obviously, with Amtrak Vacations, we also have that ability to use them within our packages, as well as, for instance, when we do hop-on, hop-off tours, we're going to work with companies local in the city. So it could be, you know, Greyhound, Big Bus, that would help us provide the city tours to put it all together into one package as well. Okay. Next question from T. Hopkins. Is it cheaper to book a package or design your own a la carte? It's a great question. Obviously, it just depends on the amount of days that you're looking for. In general, it's always a better value to book a package. And as I mentioned, most of our packages were all actually designed from our travelers like yourself. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. Next question from Gail. I have a trip booked, however, just learned of dietary needs. I am gluten-free. Where do I ask for this consideration? Great question, Gail. Gail, give us a call. That number is listed right there on the screen, or certainly contact your local travel agent if you booked through your local travel agent, and we can make those requests. So no worries at all. No worries. Let's see. So Elizabeth, is this combinable with other promos? So again, as I mentioned, you have the ability and opportunity, everyone, to get the additional savings on the rail portion of any of these vacations if you're over 62 or you're active military or a veteran. Okay, again, those discounts apply just to the rail portion of the trip. But then above and beyond that, we also are offering these extra added exclusive offers just for each of you taking the time to attend today's webinar. Okay, so this is great. Let's see here. Hey, thank you, Lynn. Okay, Carol, thank you. I was particularly interested in your Northern National Parks escorted tour. Can the $500 webinar discount for the early booking discount be used with a AAA discount? Actually, Carol, you just took the words right out of my mouth. So again, any of those discounts on the rail portion of the trip. So let me just go back real quick, okay, everyone, just so you're all on the same page. This particular picture right here, these are above and beyond the discounts. So if any of you qualify into any of these, again, you can only choose one, okay? These, you can't choose a senior and a veterans or a senior and a AAA, right? So there's only one of these that apply, and we'll give you the biggest discount, but then that's in addition to either our independent rail vacation offer that we're giving out today, again, as long as you book before the end of September, or in the case of yourself, Carol, an escorted rail vacation to the Northern National Park. So basically, you can receive $500 off per couple as long as you book before the end of September, the 28th, to travel anytime next year, and whatever the largest discount is on the rail portion of the trip if you qualify for any of those. Okay, isn't that great? So lots of great options. I will, for the winners too, I will be sending out an email to give each of you those discounts. So stay tuned for that. Let's see here. And just so everyone knows too, I got a question. Is this webinar being recorded? So yes, this webinar is recorded, everyone. So stay tuned, because you will get an email sent to you afterwards with a link to the recorded webinar, so you can go back, listen to it again if you like, or certainly feel free, everyone, to share it with your friends or family, certainly if you're looking to travel with some friends and family next year as well. Okay, so anyway, great question. Let's see. Margaret, how do I add throughway bus to start off rail pass reservations I already made for a trip leaving September 26th? How do I add on to independent multi-city reservation already made? How do I upgrade to Roomette for rail pass reservation? Margaret, very easy. Thank you for your question. Again, give us a call. Our agents can pull up your reservation, or if you book through your local travel agent, just contact your local travel agent, and we can add to any existing reservation and update anything you would like us to. Okay. Next question from Carol. We are interested in the Northern National Parks escorted tour for 2017, but may be interested in the independent 6-day, 5-night Grand Canyon tour, your first highlighted for November of this year. If I book both, can I take advantage of both discounts? Carol, yes, absolutely. So if any of you book multiple trips, discounts will apply to any of those trips as long as you book the trips before September 28th. The discounts can apply to multiple trips. So yes, absolutely. No worries at all. And great question. Thank you. Let's see. From T. Hopkins, the hotel rooms that are included in the various trips, are those booked for you through the package, or do we have to call each hotel listed and make these reservations? How does this work? Great question. That's the beautiful part, everyone, again, with Amtrak Vacations. We book everything for you, not only your Amtrak rail portion of the trip, but your hotel, your sightseeing tours, your meals, okay? We literally do everything. You don't have to worry about anything, okay? Certainly wherever Amtrak Vacations travels to, all right? So thank you very much. Great question. Let's see. Okay. And we have, let's see, Margaret, can webinar discount be applied to a reservation already made? give us a call, okay, and let's see if we can do that. Typically, they are for new reservations, okay, but certainly if it was booked recently, just give us a call, all right? And yes, question, next one from Chip, is this presentation going to be available somewhere after today? So yes, absolutely. So this is being recorded, everyone. We, again, will send all of you a link to the actual presentation, but yes, it will be housed on our website as well, which you can be able to go to and listen again or share with friends or family if you'd like at a later date as well. Okay? So with that in mind, everybody, those are some great questions. I really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation, everybody, as much as I enjoyed sharing all the great, fun things about our nation's national parks. Again, if you're thinking of the national parks, everyone, certainly for this year, call us immediately. But even if you're thinking for next year, everyone, give us a call or contact your local travel agent as soon as possible, certainly before September 28th, so you could take advantage of either of these great savings, whether it's one of our independent rail vacations, okay, seen right here on this particular screen itself, okay, or if it's one of our 2 escorted packages, you will be able to take advantage of those great savings. I did want to congratulate again Lynn on winning our $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card, as well as Elizabeth on our $50 Amtrak Vacations gift card. So with that in mind, everybody, thank you so much again for your time. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you, your friends, and family on board soon with Amtrak Vacations. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.